Welcome to our TV channel. 2 American aircraft went down in 8 minutes. Not in the same location, not from the same weapon system. 2 separate shootdowns 8 minutes apart executed by Iranian air defense units operating in coordinated fashion across a 40-kilometer engagement corridor in western Iran that American mission planners had assessed as penetrable at the time the strike package was planned. The assessment was wrong and the cost of being wrong was $120 million of American air power destroyed in less time than it takes to conduct a pre-mission briefing. The aircraft were an F-15E Strike Eagle and an EA-18G Growler. The Strike Eagle was on a strike mission against hardened Iranian infrastructure. The Growler was performing electronic warfare support, jamming Iranian radar systems to create the electronic corridor through which the strike package was supposed to operate safely. The fact that the Growler went down is the detail that every American air operations planner is focused on with an intensity that the Strike Eagle loss alone would not have produced. Losing a strike aircraft to an air defense system is a known risk in contested airspace. Losing the electronic warfare aircraft that was supposed to suppress that air defense system means something different. It means the suppression failed. It means Iran found a way to engage through the jamming. And it means the electronic warfare doctrine that American aviation has been relying on in this conflict has a vulnerability that Iranian engineers have identified and exploited. 8 minutes $120 million, 2 crews ejecting over Iranian territory, and a question sitting in every American air operations center in the region that does not have a comfortable answer. If the Growler could not protect itself, what does that mean for every other aircraft that has been operating behind Growler support in this conflict? Start with the weapon system that brought down the Growler, because that is where this story changes from a tactical setback into a strategic problem. The Iranian air defense network in the western Zagros and the approaches to Tehran has been degraded significantly by American and Israeli strikes since the conflict began. Radar installations have been destroyed. Command and control facilities have been hit. Mobile surface-to-air missile launchers have been hunted by persistent surveillance and targeted when they radiate. The degradation is real and it has reduced the density and effectiveness of Iranian air defenses compared to what existed earlier. But degraded is not defeated. And in the engagement corridor where the Strike Eagle and the Growler went down, a system that was supposed to have been neutralized was operational and capable. The system that engaged the Growler is assessed by American intelligence as a modified version of the Russian-supplied S-300 surface-to-air missile system with Iranian-developed electronic countermeasure modifications. The standard S-300 is vulnerable to the specific jamming techniques the Growler employs because the radar frequency bands used by the S-300 engagement radar are known to American electronic warfare engineers and are specifically addressed by the Growler systems. The modified version that Iran used incorporates frequency hopping and signal processing adaptations designed to operate through exactly the jamming environment the Growler creates. This is not a capability that appeared overnight. Developing electronic countermeasures against a specific jamming system requires knowing the jamming system's technical characteristics in detail. It requires engineering work that takes months or years. It requires testing against either the actual system or a very accurate technical replica. The fact that Iran has deployed a modified S-300 variant capable of engaging through Growler jamming means that Iran has had access to detailed technical information about the Growler electronic warfare systems that allowed its engineers to design around them. How Iran obtained that technical information is a question that American counterintelligence is treating as a priority. The possibilities include signals intelligence collection against Growler operations in previous conflicts and exercises, technical information provided by Russian engineers with access to both S-300 systems, and information about American electronic warfare capabilities, or some other collection method that has not yet been identified. Whatever the source, the result is an Iranian air defense system that can engage through the electronic warfare cover that American aircraft have been depending on, and that result has immediate operational consequences for every mission profile that the current strike campaign depends on. Now here is why the double shootdown matters beyond the immediate aircraft losses and the electronic warfare vulnerability. It matters because of what it does to the operational calculus of the air campaign, and because of what the 2 crews ejecting over Iranian territory does to the political and diplomatic environment at the exact moment when the back channel is under maximum stress. The operational consequence is this. The strike campaign against Iranian military infrastructure has been the primary tool through which the military dimension of the current conflict is being prosecuted. Israeli and American aircraft have been hitting Iranian missile production facilities, command and control infrastructure, air defense installations, and military logistics. That campaign has produced measurable results in terms of degrading Iranian military capability, but it depends on the ability of American aviation assets to operate in Iranian airspace with acceptable loss rates. Acceptable means different things in different contexts. In the current political environment with ceasefire negotiations active and American domestic support for the conflict measured in polling data that the White House monitors, 2 aircraft lost in 8 minutes in a single engagement is at the outer edge of what the operational environment can absorb without producing political pressure to change the mission profile. The electronic warfare vulnerability that the Growler shootdown revealed means that the mission profiles that have been producing acceptable loss rates may no longer be safe at the same level of risk they carried before this engagement. Replanning around the Growler vulnerability requires either accepting reduced electronic warfare coverage which increases the risk to strike aircraft or finding alternative electronic warfare approaches that have not yet been fully developed and fielded or reducing the tempo of the strike campaign while the vulnerability is analyzed and countermeasures are developed. None of those options is without significant cost and all of them have to be implemented in real time during an active conflict against an adversary that is watching American operational adjustments and exploiting the gaps they create. The political consequence is equally serious. 2 American crews are now in Iranian territory. If they survive the ejection and were captured, they are American prisoners of war in a conflict that has no prisoner exchange framework and no established protocol for the humane treatment of captured enemy combatants. The treatment of American prisoners in Iranian custody, their public presentation, their use as negotiating leverage, and the diplomatic pressure their capture creates on Washington are all variables that Iran government will manage with precision designed to maximize political cost. If the crews did not survive the ejection, the cost is different but no less significant. 2 American aviators killed in action over Iranian territory is a number that congressional oversight, media coverage, and public opinion will demand to be explained and accounted for. The White House response to the double shootdown has been measured and careful in its public language. Official statements confirmed the loss of both aircraft and indicated that search and rescue operations were underway for the crews without specifying their status. Iran response was different in tone. Iranian state media published detailed claims about the shootdowns within hours, including specific claims about the aircraft types, the engagement methods, and the location of the debris fields. The precision of these claims suggests direct military-level information. This was a message. Iran demonstrated full situational awareness and control over the engagement. The back-channel response to the shootdown is now the key variable. Communication efforts are underway regarding crew status and negotiation conditions. If American crews are alive, it constrains military response. If not, it increases escalation pressure. The 8-minute timeline, the engagement location, and rapid media communication suggest this operation was designed not just for military success but for political and diplomatic impact. This is sophisticated adversary behavior. This is multi-domain strategy. Military effect: aircraft destroyed. Diplomatic effect: leverage through crews. Informational effect: narrative control. All from one engagement. Understanding this is critical. This is not just a tactical loss. This is a strategic signal.